So in today's session, we will see the second wireless technology and the security aspect of it. The second wireless technology is UMTS. UMTS is Universal Mobile Telecommunication System. It is a third generation, that is 3G mobile cellular system, and it is based on and it is an extension of the GSM standard itself. So when we'll move to the architecture, we have to keep in mind that it is quite similar to the GSM architecture. The architecture again, just like GSM, has three parts. First is the mobile station. Mobile station has two units. One is the user equipment, that is the cell phone, and the other is the SIM, that is the subscriber identity module. Inside the SIM, we have two important parameters, that is the AUTN, which is quite similar to the subscriber key in GSM. AUTN is an identifier. It is unique to each and every SIM card, and it is a secret key stored inside the SIM and is never shared on the network. IMSI, the full form of IMSI is International Mobile Subscriber Identity. This particular parameter is used to identify the user on the network. So whenever the user or a particular mobile station wants to transmit data, he will attach his IMSI number along with the message. This helps the system, the entire network, to identify the source of the message. Moving on, we have UTRAN. In UTRAN, we have different RNSs. Now, what is an RNS? RNS is a radio network subsystem, and collection of multiple RNS makes a UTRAN. The components inside a radio network subsystem are node B. So now, as you see in the diagram, there is a node B. Node B is nothing but a transceiver, that is a transmitter and receiver of data signal. A single RNS can have n number of node Bs depending on the cell size, but it has a single RNC. So one RNS cannot have more than one RNC. What is an RNC? RNC is radio network controller. The functionality in security aspect of RNC will be looked upon in the further slides. Moving on to the most important part of the architecture is the core network. Here we have multiple components. Few components are there for security aspects. Few components are there for database server requirements, and few components are there for both voice as well as data transmission. So let us check each and every component. The first component, that is AUC, is nothing but authentication center used for authentication purposes. HLR is home location register, where it is a database server where the users of home registry details are mentioned. Equipment Identity Register EIR contains the IMSI records of all the user equipment registered in HLR. So all the IMEI stands for International Mobile Equipment Identity, are stored in EIR, whereas IMSI are stored in HLR. We have to note that the registry of home network is done here. So if your cellular station or your mobile station moves from one cell to another, your cellular phone cannot be directly authenticated by the core network of that particular cell. The next component is GMSC. GMSC is a gateway for mobile switching center. Mobile switching center takes care of intercellular movement of a mobile station. GMSC helps us to connect to the network where we can transmit our voice signals. The next is the serving gateway. The serving gateway SGSN helps us to convert a voice signal into a digital signal or a packet data that can be sent over the internet. And to send it over the internet, the packet data is moved through a gateway GPRS support node, that is GGSN. So let us see the security aspect of UMTS. So here again there are three aspects. One is confidentiality, the second is authentication, and the third is anonymity. So I'll describe the entire security process and we'll just cover the three aspects. So let us assume that your cellular network has moved from, that is your mobile station has moved from one cell to another and now wants to register itself on the new cellular network. So we'll just consider that this is the new cellular network, and the area represented here is the home cellular network. Okay. So to register, the user equipment will try to send, the first step that the user equipment will do, will try to send the TMSI. The TMSI is nothing but temporary mobile subscriber identity, which we have learnt in GSM technology. The TMSI that is already present inside the SIM has been sent to try the registration on the new network by the user equipment. User equipment is nothing but the mobile station. So via node it reaches the RNC of the new network. RNC forwards it to MSC. MSC tries to authenticate it by its AUC. AUC is nothing but authentication center. But now AUC will see that there is no such TMSI, that is temporary mobile subscriber identity, registered in its database servers, that is the HLR. So it replies back to MSC, RNC, and RNC tells the user equipment to send it IMSC instead of TMSI. The IMSI is nothing but international mobile subscriber identity is requested from the user equipment as the TMSI has not already been registered. The user equipment sends the IMSI to the RNC controller. The RNC controller forwards the IMSI to MSC. The MSC forwards it to the AUC. Depending on the IMSI number, the AUC figures out which is the home cell or which is the home cellular network of the register of the user equipment. It forwards the IMSI to that particular node, that particular cell. So if you see here, the AUAC sent the IMSI to MSC, which was forwarded to RNC, and the RNC forwarded to the next RNC of the home cellular network. The RNC forwards it to the mobile switching center, and now the authentication center receives the IMSI. Now the home cellular network's AUC will have this IMSI registered along with the AUTN number, which will it receive from the HLR. The AUC on receiving the IMSI number checks the IMSI number in the HLR, that is home location register, retrieves the corresponding AUTN, that is authentication number, from the HLR. So the AUC will receive a AUTN number from the HLR corresponding to the IMSI number. You have to note that the AUTN is never on the network. It is either on the home location register or inside the user equipment. Next, the AUC will generate a random number R. This random number and the AUTN is passed through A3 algorithm, which generates an XRES. XRES is nothing but a challenge that is generated for the user equipment to satisfy. Both random number and XRES are sent both random number and XRES are sent to the new both random number and XRES are sent to the new authentication center, new networks authentication center, and the random number is sent to the user equipment. Just the random number. The user equipment on its end receives the random number and it already has its AUTN. It passes the AUTN and the random number. It passes the AUTN and the random number. AUTN and the random number to generate an response that is RES. Now the user equipment forwards the RES. It forwards the RES to the AUC. To the AUC of the new network. Now, if we recall earlier, AUC had received the XRES from the other AUC and the RES from the user equipment. It compares the RES with XRES. If it matches, the user is authenticated. As soon as the user gets authenticated, the AUC forwards a new TMSI number to the user equipment and registers it inside its own HLR. So now let us understand how did we achieve authentication in this phase. So if we see, random number is just a newly generated number. AUTN is a secret key. So if the user is really an authenticated user, it will have the same AUTN which was used by the AUC in its home network. And in turn, if RES and XRES match, that means the AUTN numbers were same. That means we have an authenticated user. Moreover, how do we achieve anonymity? So if we recall the last step, our IMSI has been replaced with a new TMSI which will be used for every communication in the later stage. And finally, how do we achieve confidentiality? Confidentiality is achieved in the same way used in GSM. Please refer the GSM video for the same. So this was all for UMTS security. Thank you.